From KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. My guest today has a job a lot of people would envy. Her name is Caitlin Clark, and no, I'm not talking about the famous basketball player. She is a food scientist who oversees an entire laboratory devoted to the study of chocolate, how it's made, what makes it taste so good, and how to make new and better varieties of it. She and her team, based at the Colorado State University Food Innovation Center in Denver, work to dream up new confections that hopefully will end up on grocery store shelves or maybe in your box of Valentine's Day chocolates. Kate spoke with me last February about her work in the new laboratory. We're listening back to that conversation today. She began by explaining how her expertise in the science of fermentation helped pave the way for her to become a chocolate researcher.
Chocolate's a fermented food. Not a lot of people know that.
No, I mean, that kind of surprised me when I read that because I think I associate fermented foods with, sour things, sauerkraut, kimchi, but okay, we'll have to dive more into that. Could you briefly explain how fermentation works in chocolate and what does it do for the finished product?
Yeah, so when the fruit of the cacao tree is harvested, you kind of scoop the middle of it out into these boxes, and it's all juicy, and it starts to ferment because it's full of sugar. So fermentation happens when microorganisms convert something in their environment, often sugar, into something else. So in the case of chocolate, they're converting the sugars in the pulp of the fruit into alcohol and then later into acids. And then those acids kind of seep into the seed, which we call the bean, and create a lot of changes in it. And those changes turn it into something that we can make into chocolate. If the fermentation didn't happen, it would never taste like chocolate.
So what then made you start a laboratory to study chocolate?
There's just so much science in chocolate. There's so much to study, and there's a lot that we don't know. What I really want to do with my laboratory is use it as a teaching laboratory, because I think there's a lot of science that you can teach. So there's a lot that I want to learn, but even more than that, I think I'd really like to get students involved. Engineering, chemistry, physics, and of course, food science too.
Right. No, you officially launched the lab a little over a month ago.
Yeah.
And you work with businesses in Colorado that have ideas for new chocolate products. What kinds of things are you working on there?
We work on a lot of different products, actually, not just chocolate products, but we work with a lot of products that involve some chocolate component. So sometimes that's like a bakery product that might be dipped in chocolate. It could be like an ice cream that involves chocolate. We work with a lot of bars, and maybe the chocolate is like the binder in the bars.
Okay. Oh, so like a protein bar that comes wrapped in
Exactly, for
chocolate.
example.
Okay.
Yeah.
To make it even more delicious.
Right.
So what is the last chocolate project you worked on, in the lab that excited you?
I'm working on kind of a cool thing right now with the texture of ganache filling and truffles.
Now I'm craving truffles. Thank you. And can you say more about what makes your work science rather than just in the realm of a culinary school?
Yeah, with chocolate, there's so much to keep in mind when you're working with it in terms of like its flow properties and the crystallization of the fats and how temperature affects the rheology, for example, like how it pours and its texture. So it's chemistry, but it's also all of these other sciences that play a role in the outcome of the product.
Huh. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, Kate, what does the science say about why chocolate is so absolutely irresistible?
Well, probably because it's full of sugar and fat.
Right.
But there are some compounds in chocolate that some research suggests humans find pretty irresistible. And the main one is called theobromine. It's a methylxanthine that's related to caffeine, but it has a different kind of stimulating effect that in some people's bodies can create kind of an addictive feeling.
So when we feel like this is a mood lifter, that's not just our imagination.
Not at all. It definitely is a mood lifter. Yeah. And for some people, it feels so good that they can't stay away from it.
Well, I mean, we often kind of joke about chocolate being addictive. Is that true? What have you learned about that?
Yeah, it's not exactly addictive, not in the same way. Like I wouldn't use the word addictive as a scientist, but it is pretty hard to stay away from. So it's partially just because of that fat to sugar ratio. It's partially because of the theobromine, but it's also partially just because of how flavorful and complex of a food it is. It has so many flavor compounds that we just find it incredibly stimulating, right? Our minds and our taste buds find it interesting.
Kate, what do you see as the future of chocolate production? I mean, are there efforts to make chocolate with more nutritional value, for example?
There definitely are. Yeah, there are people who are making chocolate with an increased fiber content. There are people who are making high protein chocolate. There are people who are enriching chocolate with minerals and supplement compounds, even with probiotics.
Yes. So maybe I don't have to eat anything but chocolate in the future.
That's right. Exactly. It's like Soylent Green, except tasty.
I wonder, Kate, do you have a story about using chocolate to get someone more interested in science?
You know, part of my job for a while was to go to chocolate conferences, and I would find interesting bars and bring them back. And one of the bars that I found was from a Taiwanese maker, and it was a white chocolate bar with green curry and shrimp.
Whoa.
Yeah, that bar was so interesting. I ended up sharing it with just a bunch of people, and so many people told me later, like, that really stuck with me. Like, it showed me the culinary possibilities that I didn't realize you could combine ingredients in that way. And a lot of people told me later that that bar really inspired them to try new recipes and experiment in the kitchen, and that it was memorable and inspirational.
Well, I know when I first heard about fermentation being a part of the process of making chocolate, it made me think of possibilities that maybe are good, maybe wouldn't be. Sauerkraut chocolate bars, kimchi chocolate.
You know, I would try it if you made it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get down to the lab.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark has the best job in the world. She spoke with me last year about it. Caitlin is a senior food scientist with CSU's Chocolate Laboratory at that school's Food Innovation Center in Denver. We'll have more info about the lab, including how you can sign up to taste some of their chocolate experiments, in our show notes and at KUNC.org. And if you know of someone conducting innovative research or creating fascinating art, let us know. Here on In The NoCo, we love to talk with people doing interesting things. Email us at noco@kunc.org. That's NOCO@kunc.org. That's it today for In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thanks so much for listening.